Hey there, good morning. Good soon to be lunch, I guess. Nah, in a few hours. Man, this wind is really catching up. It's a bit chillier today, this morning, than actually it's warmer than yesterday. Yesterday it rained all gosh darn day here in Belgrade. Like, there would be maybe 3-5 minutes without rain, and then it'd calm down again. And today doesn't look that much better, except the clouds. There's just something about the clouds. They look like it's not gonna rain. Maybe a little bit later today, but at the moment, no. The air is fresher as usual after a rain, and I hope you guys enjoyed Netflix all day yesterday. I sat inside doing my taxes, and since I'm planning on doing a little bit of something that needs for a video that needs some more work, I won't have time to do that in one day. It's something I don't want to rush through either. So I'll just upload a couple of boring videos since I'm committed to doing this every day. Yesterday I was filing my taxes, and I don't know how it works for you guys in Sweden and pretty much in Finland as well. It works like this: if you're a private person, meaning that you don't have you're an employee, you don't have to file your own taxes. You just have to check them and be okay with them. There is something called preliminary tax, which we do. I'm telling you this because I don't know if you're doing it here in Serbia, which means that you pay for a whole year ahead based on what you made last year. You pay this in advance, and then at the end of the year you adjust whether you pay too little or too much. And this is why it's important to keep track of what you're going to be paying. That's only because people are really shit at calculating their own spendings and income. So that means that, a whole year of taxes at the end of the year won't just come down like, hey, we need 10,000 euros, which you won't have. I mean, you will pay that gradually beforehand, and then, this will be adjusted at a later stage. If you get a suggestion of paying too little tax or too much tax, you can always go in and adjust that. Go into the tax office, call them, or go in online, which is usually preferable because there is nobody sitting at the tax office, and there's definitely nobody answering the phone. You'll get faster answers from Air Serbia during COVID on the phone than meeting a person at Skatteverket, or probably the same in Finland. I don't know. I haven't done that in a very long time in Finland. When you get this declaration stating what did you make last year, is it according to what you have already paid? You go in, you file the taxes, check that everything's okay, and then you stamp it, and then you send it in the mail to them. They will pay for the postal costs, obviously. Goddamn wind. They will pay for the postal costs, obviously, or you can file the taxes online. In Sweden, you have to go in and check a box, I am okay with these taxes, if you're okay with them as a private person. If you are in Finland, all you have to do is do absolutely nothing, and they will just assume that, okay, you're good with this. It saves a little bit of paperwork. But I also own a business, and I'm registered for a business, owning a business, which means that I have to file my own taxes, declare what I have made, what I have spent, what my costs have been, and so on and so forth. What you do when you have a private company of your own, is that at the beginning of the year, they suggest a preliminary tax that you should pay every month. And so you pay that, and when you declare your taxes, you can adjust. You can adjust this if you want, whenever you want. And these are all, this is all paid into an account, which is accessible for you at the tax agency's website. I'm talking about Sweden now. And you can go in and check what's what. It's very accessible. All of these, the information that you need is very accessible there. So that's really good. That's a really good plus. And you pay that every month, and then you have to pay your VAT as well, which is 25% in Sweden for the majority of things. Food is 12%, I believe, and then transportation and culture and so on and so forth is 6%. You have to pay that in February, what you made last year, and then come May you have to pay your taxes. So in my case, my taxes, I need my books to see what I have spent, what I have made, what I have invoiced, how much tax I have paid already, because every time I invoice something and I get something into my account, I immediately go in and calculate all of the stuff and then send in to my tax account. I send in the money that I calculated that I should pay as tax. So it stays there until I declare my taxes, and then whatever's left over comes back to me. If you fail to declare your taxes on time, you get a huge fine. A very, very, very ridiculously huge fine. I'm not even going to tell you what that fine is, but yeah. And that can all come down to, you forgot to cross out this you forgot to tick this box. We can't do anything about that. We need all your money now. So you have to be very careful with that. However, what's really interesting to me is that basically for myself, I have to declare all of my spendings, as in a business trip, the cost of the business trip, like bus tickets, train tickets. These I declare for myself. But when it comes to taxes, I just add everything up and I just chunk it into a little box and write the whole sum. So I just write like a huge number there. And then they go, okay, these are your spendings. I think it's strange. Now, when it comes to filing your taxes, it's good if you're as accurate as possible, of course. They are not very accurate at times. In fact, you can get like suggestions from the tax agency that are completely... That I got a suggestion to pay 2,500 euros in preliminary taxes every month. And that's just taxes. I don't know what monkey was sitting behind the desk. I think it's an algorithm. It's a computer, and just completely struck out of calculating correctly. But it was interesting. So I ended up having to, of course, adjust this, because obviously we pay about 30% tax, and then there's like 28% social fees, and then after that it's all the rest of the money we can put in our own pockets, but then we need to pay for our own pensions and our own insurances and so on and so forth. So at the end of the day, whatever we invoice seems like a high sum, but it's not, because we get like maybe 50%, if even that, out of it to put in our own pockets. So basically what they were calculating was that 2,500 euros was about 30% of my income. If that was my income, I would make more than like semi-high politicians